Sure. All right. I am not used to getting onto a stage without a song playing, for sure. But anyway, I'm Rahil. Nice to be here. If you guys are wondering why my talk is called Hope 24 by 7, 24 by 5.9 actually, it's as simple as I'm 24 and I'm 5'9", and I feel that everything about me resonates with hope. I'd like to compare myself and personify my journey to a local train of Bombay. Fast, resilient, strong, something without that doesn't have any downtime, and of course something that I hope that serves a million people for its lifetime. My journey started at Churchgate Station, and how often do you actually hear that that a boy from Cathedral and John Connon School took a train ride? Well, I am different. The the engine drivers, my parents, my very Atrangi parents, were my main force of nature at that time. Because how often do you actually hear that your parents actually wake up every morning and tell you that you are born to be a Bollywood star? Never, right? I didn't believe it either. Moving on, as I reached Mumbai Central Station, Wake Up Sid boarded my train. A movie that I identified and resonated with far beyond what I expected. The title song of the film had a line that said, "Ye jo kahe, wo jo kahe, sun lo, jo bhi sahi, tumko lage chun lo." I was 12 years old in junior school. I have no idea what I understood in that movie, but it resonated with me to unimaginable amounts. I had no idea about adulthood, about responsibilities, about college life, or about anything. But at that time, all I knew was that no one was going to tell me how to lead my life. Moving on to Dada Station, um, the most fast-paced station. There are people flooding in at every station, every time, every 10 seconds, there are people fighting for a spot on the train. That's when I realized that I have to find my own place on this train. That was my 10th standard ICSE exam. Many of you may think right now that this may turn into a talk about how I studied day and night and made it on top of my class, but wait, that's not happening for sure. My parents were professionals, working professionals, and they refused to believe that if they left me at home, I would be of any use. So my mom took me to her office every day and made me study in one of her rooms. I snuck in an iPad with me, and I started making mashups instead of studying. The pressure of studying was released through making these mashups. I started putting them out on Facebook, and social media being the biggest ego booster, people loved it. They they kind of related to it in some way, and that made me want to make more mashups instead of studying even more. By default, my exams happened, and I happened to score 91%, which I still don't know how. My parents and I, my parents and I kind of concluded that the examiners loved my handwriting, and that's why they gave me the marks. But I still don't know how I managed that. Moving on, I ran away to Germany for summer school. Um, it was a very weird experience. I mean, I didn't think I would end up over there for sure, but that kind of changed my life because they kind of added me as a friend on Facebook and came across these mashups that I made. And one of them one day came up to me and said, "You're a DJ, why don't you play at one of our parties?" And I was like, "A DJ, what?" But I was too confident for my age, and I said, "Yes, I will." I went on to that party, and I played the same mashups nonstop and just pretended I had a DJ. That's when I realized that this is so cool. I was like, this is amazing. You can make people dance on your music. I'm like, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. I came back to Bombay and I told my parents that I want to be a DJ and let's give it a shot. I completely forgot to change the slides. Churchgate, Baikila, Mumbai Central, and now we reach Matunga. A few years later, we reached Matunga station and Lost Stories, the Indian duo who played at Tomorrowland, reached out to me and helped me understand that I belong to the Bollywood industry and not the EDM genre. I had obviously achieved a lot more in my DJing, and I decided to learn a lot more about music production. so that I can expand myself as an artist. They kind of helped me understand that I belong to the Bollywood industry and I should be making Bollywood music. So I kind of believed them, and I loved Bollywood, of course. So I didn't have a problem with it at all. Um, yeah, so I started performing. I was performing anyway since I kind of skipped the whole bit before because I messed up the presentation, but I've been DJing since I'm 16. I was not allowed to enter clubs, but I was performing in them. After Lost Stories kind of guided me, I started performing at the biggest nightclubs, the biggest festivals, all college events, and I kind of found my place in this world. But I still felt that there was a lot more I could do. Next up came Thane Station. All right, so this is where it gets interesting. My train kind of completely derailed and I kind of fell off completely. I got slapped on my face quite literally when I woke up with my face half paralyzed. Um, I was diagnosed with a condition known as Bell's palsy, which is facial paralysis, and this was in 2018. So I was unable to smile, drink water, or do any basic functions without a struggle. The initial few days were obviously filled with a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, and the constant question to God, why me? I believe there are very few instances in life that make you what you are. A few of them can be good, a few may be bad. Unfortunately, was the latter. I believe that in a generation where your looks, the way you present yourself matters so much, I couldn't even smile. So it was obviously very, very, very awkward for me to even step out of my house for the first few months because wherever I would go, it would just be like, what's wrong? Is there something wrong? And just that look that would just keep going around. Um, I was told the condition would take 6 weeks to recover, but obviously that didn't happen. So moving on to the 6 weeks, I just decided that I need to look for the good in the bad. I kind of can't be sitting at home just hoping that it would be okay, it'd be okay, and just waking up and running to the mirror and be like, am I okay today? But that would just not happen. As months passed and it didn't get better, I started to realize that it's very, 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 very important to keep a positive mindset through such times. I started to look for the good in the bad, and I spent most of the time back with my first love, creating music. I started creating music, creating remixes, creating mashups, and doing, just staying away from the whole social world to discover myself and my dreams. At the end of 6 weeks, even though I was far away from full recovery, I realized that I need to get my train back on track. So I went back to Shamak Summer Funk. Shamak Summer Funk is something that I had used as an avenue to express myself since the age of 8. I was a dancer, but no one knew about it. Absolutely no one from my school knew I could dance. And because I was just really shy about it. But this time, I embraced it and I went back on stage and danced center stage. I was back on the console about a few months later, and I started creating happy experiences for people. I decided that I need to use my music to make people happy, to express my emotions, to make them realize their emotions. And instead of being a DJ who can just make people get drunk and dance, I decided to use my skills to make people happy. There's a quote that says, when words fail, music speaks. And that is exactly what I experienced when I spent time with myself. I realized that in every stage of my life, there were lyrics that were playing at the back of my mind that helped me understand what I was feeling and what my life was trying to tell me. So what was playing at that time? खो गए हम कहाँ रंगों सा ये जहाँ तेरे मेरे रास्ते हैं जादू इमारतें हैं मैं भी हूँ तू भी है यहाँ. A song that I used to combine my passion for dance and DJing to create an experience that no one had seen in their life. A dancing DJ. Along with the two most amazing human beings, I joined my passion to create the dancing DJ, Rahill Live, an experience and a performance. Accumulation of all my favorite songs from childhood about love, dreams, friendship, and most importantly, songs that trigger the audience to feel their own emotions. We tailor made a show that helps you understand how you are feeling and most importantly, leaves you with a smile. It's a show where we make the audience feel their own emotions through our music. We've taken this show to almost 40 cities in India and internationally to Belgium, which gives me the humility to say that I am the world's first dancing DJ. It's been my journey, my choices, and my passion that's got me to where I am today. So, where I am now, at my latest station. Okay. The Kalyan station, where I have been greeted by you guys. And what's playing on my mind now? सीधे पत्ते पड़े बाजी तू जीत गया वक्त मुश्किल था मगर जैसे भी हो बीत गया आज दुनिया भी तेरे साथ गुनगुनाती है कल अकेला था वो दुख भरा जो गीत गया The train song. And contrary to what you must have seen or not seen over the last few minutes, I am a very, very, very shy person. Doing this is completely not what I'm used to, especially without music playing at the back. And I'm so scared of this stage and speaking in front of the audience that even 10 minutes ago, if any one of you came up to me and said, cancel this, leave, I would be like, yes, and I would run away. But I guess all you need is a little bit of hope. Thank you so much.